Good morning, it's all systems go on wheat harvest day 2. The combine's working fine. Dad is hauling the wheat to the mill, and I am running the combine. I do not have a CDL. I've thought about getting one, eventually probably will, but right now that does not allow me to drive the semi to the mill, so I am running the combine. And one thing I wanted to note was that we did get it calibrated, the calibration load in, and set the monitor, and it's pretty accurate, unfortunately. The yield isn't that great out here, probably because some of the skips where we didn't plant, the drill didn't plant the wheat properly. Also, there wasn't enough rain when the wheat was finishing, and there was competing with the clover for nutrients as well. One more thing, grasses like wheat and corn need nitrogen, and we didn't put any nitrogen on before this crop. We just did not have time last year, so we're getting about 50 bushels per acre. A really good yield out here might be 90 or 100. We've seen spots in the field where it's 60 or 70 in the low spots where there's more nutrient dense soil probably, but that's what we're getting. I wanted to show you a couple things about how the combine works while I'm out here. So obviously we're running here and I'm watching it as we go. I'm adjusting the cut or the height of the head so we don't get too much of the red clover in here. Since we're not making straw, we don't need to get much straw in the combine. We just need to make sure we get all the wheat heads in. So I'm looking down here and I'm looking and saying, are there wheat heads on both sides? I'm looking, are there wheat heads out there? There aren't many, so we're getting a good cut. We're getting the wheat heads in, but we're not taking more straw or more clover than we had to. That's good. The combine's on auto steer, so basically I just have to watch and pull up and pull back if something goes wrong, like it should plug up. Like we did have some plugs yesterday with too much green material getting in there. We were cutting too low and got the clover in there, and that combination of that and everything going probably a little too fast plugged it up. But no plugs so far today. And I also can show you a little bit more about the monitor and how that works. So right here we've got the bushel instantaneous yield. It's 57 bushels per acre. Moisture percent 12. We got the 3 miles an hour average yield for the field. Average moisture for the field. We're almost to 42 acres harvested now of the 68. So that tells you that's the real-time stats on everything that you've got going on here. Uses the GPS and the width of the combine to know how many acres you've done. And I'm gonna head through the waterway here, which means I'm gonna lift up the head and then set it back down. We're using this, we're adjusting the height manually. We're running so high that we're just adjusting the height of the head manually. So if we were doing way more acres, or we'd probably adjust this more, but because we're only doing 68 acres and it's literally just a few hours to harvest, we're just running this manually. So all right, then in a moment here we're going to set this thing back down. Once we're out of the waterway and out of the humps, we're going to put it back down where it should go, right about there. And the auto steer's continuing on, and we look good on both sides. Got some straw sticking up and no wheat heads on those sides. So there, the other thing I wanted to show you is some of the controls on the combine. So, you know, I'm not a gamer, but I know some people who aren't. Literally, this thing is just like a video game the way it works. It's got a joystick here, raise and lower the head, tilt it down to the right, down to the left. You got the rotor adjustment, or the reel adjustment, which is the black thing. You can move it in and out, higher and lower. The black spinning thing is the reel. And you've got auto steer, you got a head height, you got unloading auger in and out, and you got unloading auger on and off on this part. You've got the over here you've got the header on and off, you've got the separator on and off. That's the internal part of the combine. Does the separating of all the grain from the chaff and the straw. You got a few other things over here too. And then you've got the computer for the combine. It tells you these important stats that you can control right here. Spreader speed, fan speed, sieves, and rotor speed. So those are all those are all things that are unique to the crop that you are running, and you kind of set them at a baseline for that crop, for wheat for example, and then you watch the how the combine operates and the quality of the product coming out back here. That's wheat right there. You watch the quality of that, and you also watch down here to make sure you're not losing too much right here in these little funnels. You'll see if you're losing too much grain out the back. So you look at all those things and you can make fine-tune the adjustments after you have the basic settings for fan speed and so on. So those are the basics. I'm actually learning a lot too. I've never harvested wheat before, so I'm learning a lot too as I do this, and hopefully you're enjoy seeing some of the things that we do here in the combine cab. I will see if I can catch you up later. Should be a couple more hours of wheat harvest, and then we'll be done. Last update of the day, folks. The wheat harvest is done. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have questions, please post those, and be sure to like and subscribe. Organic Farmer out.